Welcome back everyone to another video of World of Warship Legends, and today getting my first look at the gearing and the build I picked for at least this first game. I've changed it up a little bit, but taking a look at it here in slot 1, going with aiming system mod. Slot 2 going with the prop mod 2, and slot 3 normally I'd look for some kind of balance between prop and steering, but since this is a destroyer I'm going to go with concealment to kind of cut down our visibility. And then slot 4 here, going to go ahead and get the extra 5% using the gunfire control mod. For this game, I am using Shelly Beepley as my commander. In this game also, I'm using my old inspirations, which were Troobs and Bay. I have switched up this build a little bit, and here I want to dig into a little bit more details on the exact build. But quick fast forward through the matchmaking process. We're going to end up getting a game of domination on Greece. And starting right here in the center cap. But before we get too deep, I wanted to take a look at the different builds. So I wanted to compare the three main, what I would consider gunboat commanders for the Americans, and kind of look at their advantages and disadvantages for this particular boat. I did the same type of thing with the Kid earlier this week. And this is a little bit different. You know, we do have the 16.5 kilometer torps on this. So we need to look a little bit, maybe the reload changes. Do we need to make any changes to the visibility? But let's take a look at that detail here. There's a lot going on here, but I think this is the easiest way to really get on paper the advantages and disadvantages of each of these different commanders. So using Mordov first, he has 11.3 kilometer range with a slightly better main battery reload at 2.9 seconds. HE max damage of 1800, 5% fire chance. They all have the same torpedo range and they all have the same torpedo reload. And then Mordov is also tying Burke with the lower detectability of 5.3 kilometers. Now, the one other key thing we need to look at is his legendary skill, which is Unstoppable, which I think is going to be pretty important in this boat. In this game, I definitely get my engine incapacitated a couple times, and that can be a little troublesome with the amount of time that the cooldown takes on the damage control. It can be left dead in the water for quite a while. Moving over to Beepley, she has the same main battery range, 0.1 second longer on the reload, same HE damage. Her first perk comes in at the higher fire chance at 7%. Then at the AP max damage, same as everyone else. Torp range is the same. Torp reload is the same. In this game, you'll see my detectability is at 5.8. I did modify my inspirations after this game to match Burke and Mordov to kind of get more of an equal playing field. So with the new build, I do get the detectability down to 5.6 kilometers. And their legendary skill is fully packed. So that's getting me an extra engine boost and an extra smoke screen every game. Finally, Burke, he does have the longest range of any of the commanders at 12 kilometers. Main battery reload of 3 seconds. HE max damage does take a hit. So his legendary skill of Rather Be Torching, that gives you an extra 2% on the fire chance at the expense of taking HE max damage is going to be lowered. Torp reload, torp range is all the same. Then detectability is 5.3. So the catch with Burke versus the other two is that he doesn't get Unstoppable, and he doesn't get an extra smoke screen, and he doesn't get an extra engine boost. So kind of have to balance out your play style and what type of consumables that you prefer, and whether you're going to be using it as a gunboat, expecting to be catching a lot of HE gunfire, getting your engine taken out. Or are you going to be more of a sniper type build, kiting away, which is, I think, what Beepley is really, really good at. Getting into the game now, you see we spotted just south of the B spot. We went ahead, pushed in, and the idea here is that you want to at least contest this if you're not able to take it. Fortunately, the enemy team did back off. We're able to take it and then immediately start popping off some shots at this Cobb. Cobb is going to get away here, unfortunately. But the good part so far is that we've been able to take no hits. Now, if you're in this B cap, you get spawned south of it, you want to make sure that you're getting in here. But this is what you don't want to do. You don't want to get all the way up against this island. This is good for nothing. You're not helping your team by spotting. You're just setting out here kind of dead in the water. So I'm going to go ahead, get away from that island, and then go ahead and start popping some shots off where I can. Fortunately, this John Bart is sitting, and that is a very juicy target. They do like to catch fire, and we're able to get a fire right here, making sure that we're shooting that superstructure as much as possible. But then looking around, we have the Cleveland and Hipper, and a little bit of a problem here. So I'm going to go ahead, pop my first smoke screen, and just let the HE fly for a little bit. Unfortunately, you can see here my engine is incapacitated. I do have the ability to repair it right now, but I'm going to wait until my smoke screen's all the way done, because my thought is I can go ahead and just sit here and glide in the smoke screen and hopefully not have to use that damage con already. With those cruisers over there, I have a fairly large threat of getting that incapacitated again. Now, the Gearing's main battery armament, we have 3 turrets with 2 guns each. And we also have the 2 torpedo launchers with 5 torpedoes each, so a decent amount of firepower. The torpedoes do travel a little slower than typical torp boats, so they're about 66 knots in the water. It's nothing compared to what you see in the Shimakaze with the 80 plus knot builds, but they're still formidable. At this point, you can see the enemy did already go in and take B, and the terrible deployment of our team. If you look at where our team is, and we have 7 boats alive, all 7 of them are on the western half of the map. I'm trying to push over a little bit more to the east. That Hipper and Cleveland, though, represent an extremely tough threat for me. So I'm trying to get the Samagi's attention, try to get him to pop some shots at the cruisers. He should be able to really inflict some damage on them. But, if that Cleveland pops his radar, I'm going to be in trouble fairly quickly. But I need to go ahead and try to make sure I can get as far east as possible, perhaps sneak by them and get into the sea cap. See, we were able to catch the Bart with a torpedo there, and unfortunately, we're not getting a lot of support at this point, so I gotta go ahead and start kiting away. Typically, in this type of situation, I would like to be using my guns. Again, I can't do that with those 2 cruisers there. Too much, so that's why I'm going to go ahead, turn around, and use the guns this way. Then start using the rudder, whipping it back and forth, trying to make it a lot harder to hit. That means I'm only going to get 1 gun on target every other salvo, but it makes for a better overall method for making sure I'm staying alive. The reason I am shooting at the Bart right here is that I did catch him with that torpedo and flooding. So if I can catch a fire, I can get a permafire going on him, which would absolutely wreck his health pool. Unfortunately, you can see here I'm starting to take a lot of fire. Got 5 enemy ships aiming at him. They only have 7 on the map. So right now I'm considering, okay, do I want to go dark with the guns? What do I want to do? Can see the enemy fire coming everywhere. At this point, I'm like, okay, I'm going to use the throttle a little bit to manipulate. Bart doesn't get fooled by the throttle. Absolutely pops me for about 9,000 right there. At this point, I need to just go ahead and get away. You can see I did damage con, and then as soon as my damage con stopped, my rudder gets impaired. So this is what I mean that, if I had Unstoppable with Mordoff, I wouldn't have to worry about this. I would still have limited use of my rudder. But at this point, there's not much I can do. Fortunately, the rudder was stuck in a fully turning position, so I do have the ability just to drive in a big circle that will prevent me from going into the enemy ships too much. Here, looking around at the rest of the team, we're equal on ships. We each have 6. Unfortunately, the enemy team still has both B and C caps and almost no interest by the blue team to go get another cap. At this point, I'm like, okay, I just want to go ahead and try to get kills. So I switch over to AP on the Suzuya. It didn't perform as well as I thought it would. Fortunately, though, it only takes us 3 salvos. We're able to chew through them. At this point now, I'm going to go ahead and pop this smoke screen and try to get myself in cover. As you can see, right there, that last shot takes me down to 803 on the hit points. And absolutely devastating. You can see the enemy team did get into A. Safe to assume that is their destroyer, and right there he does pop up on the minimap. At this point, I realize, okay, I have to get into C if we're going to get the win, unless the red team absolutely bungles this. Fortunately for us, they absolutely do bungle it. You see they're kind of in a line right here heading towards A, and throughout the rest of the match, they just kind of do the lemming trail right into all of our ships, our 2 cruisers, and our Shimakaze has himself quite a game. And fortunately, I just sit out here and sail for the remainder of the game. I'm not going to have you guys watch all that, but overall, this was a good first game in the ship. Personally, I don't think I'm going to drive it that much. I think the Kaba is going to be better. I think I enjoy driving the Conqueror and the Alaska more, but nice to have the option to have another ship out there. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the gearing in the comments down below. Do you like it, dislike it? What build are you using and getting the most success with? If you guys have any questions, concerns, let me know those. Thank you very much for tuning in. If this is your first time coming to the channel, consider hitting subscribe. We'll have a lot more videos coming at you shortly. Have a good one.